I'm going to start by reading an article that I just found called Schizoaffective Disorder Prognosis Will I Ever Get Better by Tanya J. Peterson at healthyplace.com. Prognosis is the expected outcome for someone living with the schizoaffective disorder or for any other illness. It's a prediction of how well someone will do over time. If you're living with schizoaffective disorder, you have a good chance of getting better. Schizoaffective disorder prognosis is good. People with this psychotic disorder can and often do improve. In fact, a significant portion of people who have been diagnosed with this disorder and are receiving treatment improve. Nearly half of the people with schizoaffective disorder are in remission 5 years after diagnosis, and about 25% function well socially 2 year stretches for 2 year stretches. Prognosis is determined by comparing the outcome of one disorder to other similar disorders. There are factors at work too. Prognosis of schizoaffective disorder versus other disorders. Of all the psychotic disorders, schizoaffective has one of the best outcomes. Among people living with psychotic disorders, including schizophrenia, it is those with schizoaffective disorder that have the highest chance of regaining their previous level of functioning. I never knew any of this was facts. I just saw it in my own life. Part of the reason for this is the entire course of schizoaffective disorder is intermediary. It involves periods of remission occurring between periods of symptoms. Schizophrenia, by contrast, isn't as cyclical, and the likelihood is less that someone will have significant periods of remission. However, when broken down into components, the picture is not so clear. For example, looking at a single aspect of functioning, being able to hold stable employment, people with either schizoaffective disorder or schizophrenia have a less positive predicted outcome than anyone who doesn't live with these disorders. The prognosis for schizoaffective disorder is favorable when compared with other psychotic disorders because it has components of mood disorders, though it must be compared to major depressive disorder and bipolar disorder. According to Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, mood disorders have a better prognosis than schizoaffective disorder. People experience schizoaffective disorder differently. Some have more psychotic symptoms and mood symptoms, while others have mood symptoms that are dominant. Whether mood symptoms or psychotic symptoms are stronger might play an important role in schizoaffective disorder prognosis. The prognosis for schizoaffective disorder isn't entirely random. There are factors at work that influence the outcome of this psychotic disorder with mood features, factors which influence prognosis of schizoaffective disorder. Like all illnesses, schizoaffective disorder is highly individualized. Within the framework of what makes schizoaffective disorder, each person experiences it uniquely. The personal nature of the disorder carries into its prognosis too. Every outcome can be different. The big part of the reason for that involves specific prognosis factors. The way someone functioned before the symptoms began, how intense the symptoms are, the nature and depth of the psychosis, whether psychotic and mood symptoms are congruent, do they cycle together, occurring simultaneous, which would lead to a better prognosis, or are they out of sync, one group beginning as the other group ends? How persistent the symptoms are and how long they last. How negatively schizoaffective disorder affects cognitive functioning. How many episodes does someone experience as time progresses? The total number as well as the frequency of year. While there isn't a cure for schizoaffective disorder, at least not yet, this illness can go into remission, a period in which symptoms aren't present and functioning is good. That's how I feel I am right now for 5, 6 years. The more factors can be answered positively, and better the chances are that the signs of symptoms will recede. People often experience schizoaffective disorder in cycles of symptoms and remission. It's possible to achieve an outcome in which periods of remission are long and periods of symptoms are relatively mild. The key for the best possible schizoaffective disorder prognosis is to receive proper treatment and follow the treatment plan created for you. It seems pointless, might seem pointless to have a doctor and take visits and take schizoaffective disorder medication when you're in remission, but complying with the treatment is one of the primary components of a good prognosis. I agree. While there are no guarantees because this complex disorder is different for everyone and so many different factors are involved, if you are living with schizoaffective disorder, the prognosis is good for getting better. And that was published 3 years ago. I am so glad that I found that article because I have schizoaffective disorder. I have not been cured, but I also haven't had the major symptoms for 6 years. And I want to say that if you have been diagnosed with this or bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, any of those, you can get better. And it really might be that someday you don't have any symptoms. And if that happens, keep taking your medicine, keep getting treatment. It might seem like therapy. Why am I going to therapy? But just keep following all of the treatments and you can stay better. My doctor says I can stay better. I won't have it happen anymore. So, yeah, that's the good news. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.